We're recording.
Recording.
No more Mr. Quick.
Paul, Mr. Quick.
Poor Mr. Quick.
I was thinking about how my wife betrayed me.
That would be immoral.
Was that him?
This
That would
voice
have been
reminds me of
amazing
it.
if that was the same actor.
It's your episode today. How do you want to handle it? You do what you want.
Okay, here, let me get this intro up here. Get this started. So, I think one of the best movies ever made in the last 30 years, because it's coming up,
25 years ago.
1998, 25 years ago, I saw this movie in theaters. I was probably the only person to see this in theaters when it came out initially.
Yeah, probably.
Because it opened up in the February era of the Titanic box office bonanza push. So every weekend, Titanic was number one, and all these movies came out in like the subsequent months in the winter of '98, and they all got destroyed by Titanic. And Dark City was, of course, one of them. One of the best movies ever made, and we're going to discuss it right now on this piece of shit Hollywood show. Oh yeah, so there we go. Dark City. Good evening.
You're at the very end. Those are
I
our
love Alex Proyas.
Yeah.
I love. I think I like all of his movies except for maybe one, but I forgive him for one because I Robot was okay, but that really wasn't his movie.
No.
But
Knowing.
Knowing I like. I think Knowing is fun. Knowing is interesting. Even Roger Ebert liked Knowing.
We will get to Knowing
Roger
eventually.
Ebert. Yes, we will. It's on the Cage Fest. Because Roger Ebert had this weird fascination and love of Alex Proyas, where every time Alex Proyas had a movie come out, Roger Ebert put on his top 10 list every time. No matter what. Even iRobot, I think, made the list.
Ugh. iRobot is just, that's a whole different ball game. We're not going to get into that, are we?
Well, that was a studio movie that he was bullied on because they thought they could push him around because he was, an independent Australian director. And he wasn't really, a big time. He made a couple of cult movies, and they thought they could get him for cheap to do this movie. And he said he wants to make he would write a book about his experiences, but he couldn't because he signed all the NDAs.
Yeah.
So maybe soon, because it's been, I'm sure the statutes of limitation are up on that NDA. He'll probably write a book about how iRobot was a living nightmare for him. But he did say the best thing about it was working with Will Smith saved him, and he said that actually was the only reason he didn't leave the project was Will Smith. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But Dark City is the movie we're going to talk about. The movie he made after The Crow, 1994's The Crow. He came out with Dark City, which according to IMDb trivia, they made a leap here on IMDb trivia. They're saying during the course of shooting on The Crow, Brandon Lee and Alex Proyas would go to the movies together and watch movies on breaks. So he was technically, Alex Proyas had the idea for Dark City. So if Brandon Lee would have lived, he would have been the star of Dark City, more likely. Which is a leap because maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, I don't know.
I've never heard a bad thing about Brandon Lee. Everyone seemed to like him, so he probably would.
Right? Yeah. Well, who's going to call him an asshole when he gets horribly killed in an accident like that?
No, but beforehand,
that guy was an asshole. I'm glad he's dead.
The guy who killed him,
yeah,
did not do movies for a long time.
Yeah,
he went into hiding and did therapy and shit.
He was in 7.
Yeah, but
he's in 7. He's the guy. He is the guy in the sex cauldron. He's the guy. And people come in, there's suitcases full of stuff. That was him. That's the same guy. And he's in Tales from the Hood.
Happy. What's his name in
The Crow?
In The Crow, his comic book character has like a smile on it.
Oh, they call him Happy?
Yeah.
Mr. Happy or something. There ain't no coming back.
No, it's not him.
Oh, never mind then.
No.
But yeah, so Dark City is really a really cult movie, obviously, and I'm so glad that we live in a time where there is a director's cut, there is a Blu-ray version of it. You can get it; it's readily available. And for a long time, it wasn't. And then, like I think it took about probably 10 years for it to come out. It was great. There you go.
This is the guy who actually, yeah. So
Yeah,
he's
it's
fucked
not
up
his
after a while.
fault. I mean,
No,
well, yeah, but it
but
wasn't his fault. I
still,
mean, shit, but still
exactly.
bad. Yeah,
I could see
it's
that
really
fucking
sad. He
up for a
died.
while.
He did die recently, though. He finally passed away not too long ago. And Ben Affleck, Bruce,
Brandon?
oh my God, Alec Baldwin. Jesus Christ, had a stroke. Alec Baldwin, no remorse, no regret for killing a woman and shooting a director with his mistake. And it shows you the differences of a human being. Alec Baldwin's a piece of shit, and he should be ran out of the city for forever. Shouldn't be allowed to work again. But he's working, and he's back to working full time. So whatever.
For a guy who makes fun of Donald Trump as he does in SNL, the man is just like him.
Oh, sure. Well, sure.
It's full on
but
egotistical.
Alex Proyas, though, we're talking about my man Alex Proyas, big Australian guy. So apparently, New Line fucked with his cut because they didn't understand it because, of course, it's a Hollywood studio system, and they made him redo the movie. So the theatrical cut is not his version. So the theatrical cut has an opening monologue with Kiefer Sutherland, who basically kind of gives away the movie.
It's like Blade Runner.
In the director's cut, that's not in there. Yeah, it just basically gives away the movie. And you kind of like, oh, what? And then, like, it's revealed later what they are. But I just remember being just in awe of this movie when I saw it initially, because I had no idea what this was. The trailer kind of gives you an idea, but the movie's, completely different. And it's just amazing. It's just a great movie. It's a great sci-fi movie. And it's funny because there's 3 different writers on it. You have Alex Proyas' original script. Then you have Lem Dobbs, which is an odd person to throw into this script. But I guess he said in an interview, Lem Dobbs was like, well, they call me Kafka-esque, which they don't even know what that means. So I just get these movies. When they say it's Kafka, they send it to me to rewrite. So don't ask me why. And this movie was not Kafka-esque, but they don't understand that, so it doesn't matter. And then David Goyer wrote the rest of the script. He wrote the shooting script, which included all the action set pieces, basically. So that's
what David
Goyer. Yeah, he made it just the action. He made the action set pieces and all that stuff.
He wrote the last sequence.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Which is like the scene I was watching, and I'm like, God, how did the Matrix fuck up this scene so bad? It's just it's Neo and Agent Smith fighting. Only it works in this movie, and it's terrible in the Matrix Reloaded.
So apparently, the sets for this movie were sold to the Matrix production a year later. After this one was wrapped filming. So there's a Matrix connection because they shot in Australia and Matrix shot in Australia.
I can see that.
So the sets for Matrix are the same sets from Dark City, basically.
This is only a year before the Matrix.
Yeah.
So what you said you saw this in the theater? What's your kind of history after that with this movie?
I loved it. I saw it with my buddy, and we had 2 girls with us. We both, well, it was a kind of a platonic double date thing going on, and we saw this movie in theaters, and it was a lot of fun. And they didn't like it. I loved it. He loved it, and we were both like, "Oh, this movie was great." So we did, Sleep. I talked like Richard O'Brien for like 6 weeks after this movie came out, and I never got rid of it. I was like, "Oh, always talk like him for the rest of my life." From this movie.
Still tell my kids that, like, when I want to go to bed, I go sleep all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably did it while you were here. You just
probably didn't notice. Sleep now.
It's just it's not a quotable movie, but there are a couple lines that I just love in this movie. All of them are.
It's a great premise. Yeah.
Spoken by the others, and
yeah.
I didn't see it in the theater. I'm really jealous that you did. I saw it. I had a little more interesting roundabout to see it because my friend. This came out in 98, so I was in middle school. My friend's aunt ran a video store. I told you about this. We worked there in Got a bunch
yeah,
of
yeah.
stuff. So this was in the era of screeners for video stores, where they would give them to the managers, and you could watch the movie and just so you know how to if you can play it on your video or not, or you know what I mean.
Right.
So they do screeners for two reasons: video stores and for the Academy. Those are the only two reasons they ever did screeners. But this was it was a VHS screener, so every few minutes it would pop up with property, that sort of thing, and scrolling on the bottom.
Right. Yeah.
Me and my friend watched it in middle school, and we're like, we already love The Crow, so we're like watching this. And we're like, what the fuck is this? We knew Alex Proyas, we knew The Crow. We're like, okay, this is up our alley. Let's watch this. And it's one of those movies where we just sat there in silence for 2 hours. And we're like, oh, credits came up. We're like, holy shit, that was awesome. Let's watch it again. And we just started it back over. We're like, what did we just watch? Because there's a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
Is this wrong? There's both a lot and not a lot at the same time. Because it is kind of repetitive, but each time you see it, it means something else, knowing what you know now.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Like each act break is leading you closer and closer to him realizing what his power is, what his potential is,
and what their actual goal is.
Yes.
You find out their goal right away because Kiefer's upside down and he's like, don't you want the human soul? But you find out they're implanting memory so that they can break down what a person is and if they will reject it. They're actually looking for what happens. But once it happens, they're like, no, fuck this. We got to put it down.
Right, yeah. Shut it down. Shut it down forever.
And I think he died actually right after this movie. I think that actor passed away. So this was his last. I think that's the case. He died right after this movie. Well, it looked like he was fucking dying on the movie set. He looked worse than Christopher Lee, for God's sakes.
They got me in this goddamn suit.
They got me in this 70-something-year-old man in like a S&M bondage leather.
Slap my ass and call me Nancy.
He's like, shut it down.
Shut it down forever.
So I guess that Mr. Sleep was played by a girl and a boy, twins. They're children.
Oh, yeah.
One was a girl, one was a boy. That was kind of funny. Hell yeah. Yeah. That was a good one. I love that. But just so apparently Donald Sutherland or Kiefer Sutherland got this script. He thinks he got it by accident because he thinks it was for his dad. Because this character in the script was older. And I guess he met with Alex Proyas, and Alex Proyas was like, well, that's interesting. And at first he was going to dismiss it, but then he's like, well, read for it. Let's come and do the movie. We'll see what you do. And he actually liked Kiefer a lot. And I guess he said it made more sense for him to be young because he sacrifices his youth to these guys. Like he's lived this, he's had to implant he had to erase his own memory. So he'd be a young man doing it basically. And that gives it more drama in a sense.
It does.
He's wasted his life with these aliens. Strangers.
But he's not so young where like he's not a scientist. You're like
right, yeah.
Perfect age of experience plus vulnerability. Because he's got like a deficiency or something going on with him.
And I love the little moments in this movie, like the scene where the people wake up, they go to bed poor, they wake up rich.
Oh yeah, they extend the table.
Yeah, it's so awesome. It's such a fucking cool movie where it's just like they play with all these different, and they keep all the memories. They just put new memories in these people's heads.
Yeah.
And they just play with this concept, trying to figure out what makes a human being because they're not human. And then they find out they stumble upon, in putting a human in a situation like this, they're going to adapt and they're going to evolve to match you. And that's basically what happens. And that's what makes the movie so interesting because
that's what I'm saying.
Going to make, Rufus Sewell, they're going to make him a serial killer.
And Mr. which one takes this Rufus Sewell's memories and he's like, I should have been
Richard O'Brien. I think it was Mr. Hand or
might have been. I don't know their names that well.
Hold on, I can look it up.
All I know is Mr. Quick gets his head cut off by a billboard.
Yes, that's so
no
great.
more Mr. Quick.
Poor Mr. Quick.
That guy. It's I said it's not
No
quotable, but I
more
can quote it.
Mr. Quick. Mr. Hand.
Mr. Hand. Okay.
Richard O'Brien is Mr. Hand. Ian Richardson, Mr. Book. Bruce Spence is Mr. Wall.
So Mr. Book is the
Mr. Book is the main guy.
Young Vader.
Yeah. Yes. He's the
okay. But anyway,
Mr. Rain.
That's what I was getting to.
Mr. Sleep is the kid that was played by a girl and a boy. Let's see. On these have random strangers. Those are the only strangers with names.
The movie's interesting because they do the thing, like you're saying, they swap memories around to see how they react. As soon as they get a reaction out of a person who's like evolved, they're like, "Oh fuck, kill him!" You don't know how to handle it.
Come on!
And that's what I was getting to. Is Kiefer has that line of like, "This is what you wanted. Like, you're getting what you wanted now, and you're freaking out."
Yourself. Well, I think that's the idea. Is it's a self-destructive nature of just existence. You're gonna aid your own destruction, and that's what they did. Trying to figure out the.
Can I ask you a question? You've seen this movie a lot. I've seen it a lot. Does it bother you in the scene where Jennifer Connelly meets Kiefer Sutherland? Because some random guy goes, "Your husband's therapist wants to meet you." Right. He goes there and he's playing with rats or on a circle maze, and I'm like, that's really on the nose.
Yeah.
Really on the.
Well, she's not gonna know what's happening.
No, but as an audience
member,
does it bother you at all that it's kind of like a cool little thing because you're not thinking about what they're doing?
Yeah,
it happens early enough.
Rats in the maze thing. Yeah. Well, he also has rats in the maze in his experiments. They've already kind of established he's the rat. He knows that it's a maze and everybody's a rat in a maze, and they keep playing with that motif, and it happens more than once. And this is Melissa George's first movie.
Yeah,
from 30 Days a Night. That's Melissa George.
Wicked naked.
She gets naked and she gets circles cut into her boobies by the guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And then Jennifer Connelly has to find her daughter hiding under her bed.
And Jennifer Connelly does not show any boobie.
No. William Hurt is the detective.
Very good.
I love his character because I always hate the cliche of he never believes the cop, never believes them. Really, right off the bat, he's pretty much knowing something's up.
He knows something's
he doesn't know
up,
what. He's like, because he always notices.
He notices the little beats and the little mistakes where like his tennis shoes are untied, and he remembers tying the other guy's tennis shoes, but then he has that problem in his, like, for some reason that's a little quirk of his, but he never had it before, and he realizes, wait a minute, I've never done that before, and all of a sudden now my shoes I always leave untied. That's weird. And he begins to kind of piece it together.
They're sitting in the car, and he's telling Jennifer Connelly, like, I have his daughter's thing. He's like, I don't remember when I got it. Doesn't it seem like something I would remember? He's just like staring, like he's on board already, and he gets like 100% involved because he sees Rufus Sewell's like, you ever see that? He's making like papers float.
Right. Yeah.
And then a next scene, you see him, they're bashing on the fucking wall.
And then he just went, he's tuning the tune. So I guess the original ending was much different from what ended up in the final film.
Okay.
Originally, there was a trial. Alex Proyas describes it as Kafka-esque. Murdoch was originally put on trial for the murders of the prostitutes. It eventually de-evolves into a bizarre existentialism, and Proyas wasn't satisfied with it. He then came up with the idea of the city having an edge and having the character discover what they would find once they reached that edge. That actually makes it more interesting visually too. There's a better ending.
It's visually perfect because William Hurt flies out through the barrier with one of the aliens, and he's like, he turns around and visually it's really cool looking. He's like, looks at it and he sees like the circle, that is the city that they're in space, and he's like, that's the last thing he sees before he dies. Is he finally got his answer, and then he died. It was perfect.
I wasn't worth it.
Like you see him like, okay, fuck this, and just dies right there in space. And then I thought this last scene, I have a deleted scene here if I could.
Yes.
This scene doesn't make any sense to me because this is how the doctor celebrates. after they defeat the aliens, and I thought it was weird. It didn't fit.
Is that why it's a deleted scene? They took it out.
Yeah, it doesn't fit at all. It's very bright, and he's not wearing the same hair, and he's not wearing the same uniform. But here's
I know.
Kiefer Sutherland puts his memories into Rufus Sewell, and he like trains him from birth.
Right. Yeah.
Memories.
Yes.
And then it cuts to the doctor, and this is how he celebrates. It's very strange.
Hey, Kiefer, you a pirate, man.
That would explain everything.
Come on.
I'm so glad you included that clip.
I didn't know how that fit into the movie.
It's strange, but it makes sense with the character if you break it down.
He didn't speak the same. He was so happy he forgot to speak the lines.
That would explain everything.
Well, like, watch this.
Hey, Kiefer, you a pirate, man.
That would explain everything.
Come on.
It's one of the greatest clips of all time.
He is amazing. Kiefer Sutherland. I want to hang out with Kiefer Sutherland. He's awesome.
That's what I was doing when he jumped on. I was saying, I got a clip. Don't worry. I won't mention what it was.
Fantastic. That would explain everything.
You're a pirate. There's this weird foreign friend who's equally as drunk.
Yeah, I know. I think he's just a guy in the lobby. It's probably some like Baru. It's probably the Burj Khalifa or something. I'm thinking he's just in the lobby. That'd explain everything.
It's Charlie Sutherland.
God, it's funny.
Some random family member.
Sure.
Hey, Kiefer, you're a pirate. That would explain everything.
God damn.
And then you got the fucking dramatic opera music. It's the perfect clip of all. It might be the best clip of all time. In fact.
Hey, Kiefer, you a pirate, man.
That would explain everything.
Come
on. He's a genius.
I have a question. My first question in the movie, because I saw the trailer for his new show. It's called Rabbit Hole. I wrote down, is Kiefer Sutherland a good actor?
It's questionable. I think he's not bad. But there's TV Kiefer, there's movie Kiefer. I think there's a difference.
I think movie Kiefer is great.
Yes.
TV Kiefer is clearly, I hate saying his name, is clearly there to just work.
Yeah, I would agree.
My camera shut off. It just feels like he's showing up. I'm on 24. Now I'm on Rabbit Hole. I had my show Designated Survivor. Nobody fucking watched it.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
I feel like he did a show in between.
He did 24 again.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what it was.
Another show.
They did a revival 24, like a mini series revival 24. They just called it 12 because it was 12 episodes.
He's one of those guys I just can't get a good grasp on. I like him when I see him, but I'm like, okay. He's doing his thing in this movie, and it works. Yeah. You get over it pretty quick when you hear his cadence.
Yes. You do. At first, it's a little off-putting, but then you realize, okay, I can deal with that. I'm getting used to it. But I love what Rufus Sewell, who I like as an actor, I've seen a bunch of stuff since Dark City, and actually, it's nice that he works quite a lot. Like that guy works a lot for a guy that was in a movie that bombed out the bat. Like this could have been a career ender for him. But he goes, "There's two movies where I know immediately what the fan is." Who the fan is. He goes, people come up to me. I did a movie. A person comes up, were you the guy in Dangerous Beauty? And he does that voice. And he goes, that's the movie I did, Dangerous Beauty. And then I got the other guy that comes up to me going, hey, were you in Dark City? It's always the two different types of people. And we're the Dark City people, and there's other people that go, were you in Dangerous Beauty? they love Dangerous Beauty for some reason. And he talked about that. He goes, I don't know why, but those are the two movies I get most recognized from. And it's the same people that come up to me every time.
I want to come up and go, were you the Prince, the Illusionist?
You were great in The Illusionist.
Remember that Prestige rip-off that sucked?
No, when that came out, when that movie came out, and I remember at the ArcLight because that came out in August of that year, and then Prestige came out in October. There was a going warfare between people who liked Illusionist and people who said Prestige was better, and there was a war. They were trying to say Illusionist was a better movie, and I said, "Fuck no, it was not. Like Illusionist was fine, but it was not the Prestige. Prestige is
first time I watched it,
Prestige is a masterpiece."
First time I watched Illusionist, I go, that was actually pretty good. Second time I watched it, I go, fuck this movie. It's irritating.
It's Ed Norton's fault.
I'm finally looking up what Dangerous Beauty is because I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's like a romantic drama.
Same year as Dark City.
Yeah, that's why he mentions it, I think.
Oliver Platt, Naomi Watts,
yeah,
Mara Kelly, Jake Weber. Okay, interesting.
Jake Weber. It sounds like someone that's on Wings.
No, he's the guy from Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
Oh shit! Yeah,
he's the guy who has the kid who died, and he's the handsome male lead. He's that guy. Interesting. I've never seen this movie. It looks not for me.
It's probably it's not for us. No. It's yeah. I think this is it right here.
In John Adams, the little miniseries there.
Oh, he's in a lot of stuff. He was in the he was in Master Zorro sequel.
He's in Old. He's in M. Night Shyamalan's Old.
Yeah, there you go. Still working.
He's the only actor I didn't hate in that movie. What are you playing? Oh.
I got through to Sue interview. I'm trying to see if he mentions.
Which is impossible not to eat for some reason. I don't know what it is.
I think this is it. It's. I think it's from the DVD, but I think it's like an outtake.
Imagine just talking it through and thinking it through and reading it through. Not really.
While you're looking through that, I want to say I saw Super Mario Brothers movie last night, which is why I'm wearing the shirt.
Yes.
Took my daughter to see it last night. She was very excited, and she was staring at the screen the whole time, just like smile on her face. And
you had a good time watching it. That's good.
Not gonna do a whole review of it, obviously, but it was a lot of fun. I didn't like it for the first 30 minutes, and then it completely won me over in the last hour. And I was like,
all right,
didn't want it to end by the time it ended because it was getting really good. And I'm like, all right, they had a lot of inside jokes, just a ton of them.
That's what I hear. You gotta be a Nintendo fan to know what's going on.
Not to know what's going on, but to know all the side jokes that they have, because there's like tons of characters that they don't explain anything. You just see them in the background. I'm like, okay.
Did you see
the guy behind me wouldn't shut up? Oh, it's it. I'm like,
oh god, the guy. Oh god,
his wife was going back and forth.
Fanboy. Oh no, you gotta turn around and say internalize.
No, he's holding a baby and he's telling him and his wife are going back and forth every time there's a joke.
I don't care what the fuck they're holding. You don't do that in a movie theater.
Throw that shit.
It's like you need to be fucking removing your baby because he's gonna grow up and be a dumb fuck like you.
Two options: internalize or I throw the baby.
I'm gonna throw before I kill you. I'm gonna throw your baby out the theater door.
I think I could throw a baby like 20 yards.
Maybe it's possible. But they got
you get a good collar grab on that fucking thing that's behind you.
I don't know because their legs and their arms are so wanky. It's like they become like gravity kind of like stops them.
But I think they would fly. They would soar like this, like Mario does when he's got his.
I don't know. Well, he's got the suit on. He's got the squirrel suit, right?
But the whole thing, I didn't like Jack Black during his first scene. I didn't like Anna Taylor-Joy in her first scene. I thought they were doing too much voice acting. Turns out after that scene, their introductory scenes, they're fine.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, here we go. Jack Black's done voiceover before. Why is he?
Yeah,
he's so awkward.
He has a ton of stuff. Yeah,
but he has a couple of songs in there, like love ballads to Princess Peach that are pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they original songs or are they original songs?
Original songs.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But I loved hearing when they're doing like dramatic sequences. They're like,
yeah.
I'm like,
Are they really? That's funny.
Yes, it's so funny.
That's funny. So yeah, a lot of critics hate this movie because I don't know if critics hated Dark City. It wasn't. I don't think they understood it. Maybe Roger Ebert did. He's probably the only one. I think Roger Ebert was the only champion of this movie when it came out initially. Because nobody saw it. I mean, this movie made no money. I think it barely broke even, which means it lost money because it cost budget was like $27 million. I think it's all it made worldwide was $27 million. So
Yeah,
it's
it made its
unfortunate.
budget back.
But that doesn't mean it made its budget back. It just means it broke because you got to take in the prints and ads. Which, by the way, the first time I ever heard of Dark City was I was at a Star Trek convention seeing Jonathan Frakes. Jonathan Frakes was there, and they gave you like free stuff as you came in, like promotional stuff. And what they gave me was a Dark City mouse pad. I wish
Do
I
you
still
have it?
I don't. I don't know where it went. I think it rotted because
The show is over.
It was that mesh material. It was that old mouse material. It just basically it rotted away. I think it rotted and just fell apart. Yeah, I was like, oh damn, I wish I kept it. Maybe I could. Maybe I'll look around. Maybe it's in a box. So I don't think so. Though. I think it's gone. I think it was destroyed.
Ass.
Hey Marion, I didn't take this out to tune.
I didn't take this out for air, honey.
You gonna tune your titties, honey, in my direction? But now at the end though, when he makes the ocean, now if everybody started going swimming in the ocean when they realize, holy shit, we're in space. They get to the bottom of the water. This place is a nightmare.
I don't think there's any hiding it at a certain point. You know what I mean? We're in space.
They just accept it.
Deal with it.
They accept it at one point. Well, we're in space. I mean, technically, we're in the same boat. We're in a
no, but they're very, very much isolated in space.
That's true. They were kidnapped and placed in a different time. That could be 1,000 years in the future, too. By the way, because we don't know. The aliens made the decor of the set of the city,
and it's
so they different timelines. Oh, it's so cool.
Can I say one thing about the ending?
No,
since we're talking about it, the reveal that they're in space.
Yeah,
the very first time I watched this, I was like, "Yeah, they're in space. They're aliens." They already told me they're aliens. I wasn't like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yeah, they're alien." Okay. Oh, so
makes sense.
I felt I wasn't like let down. I was just like, the characters are finding out they're in space now. I wasn't blown away.
Right.
So I don't consider this a twist ending. It's more for the characters than it's for the audience, if you ask me.
Right. I wouldn't say, I don't think it amazed me. I enjoyed it, though. I just liked it. I remember seeing the movie and being like, this is impressive. This movie it's not about this movie. I love this movie. So I was just like, I've always liked the darker, weirder movies anyway, that are different, that are interesting. I don't like the same, like nowadays movies are just shit. I mean, it's bad. It's to a point where I don't even go to I don't get excited about any movies anymore. Nothing comes out now that I'm excited about. I don't care. I used to see movies. I used to go to the movie theater in my prime. I could see 3 movies in a day. Like I would pull that shit. I could pull that and do it and be happy about it. Now, forget it. I couldn't do 1.5. I would get bored and it's like, I can't do this. I gotta go home. I want to go home and watch.
By the end of the 90-minute Super Mario Brothers, I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't want to stay here. I'm done.
You can't do the thing you did as a teenager where you're like, all right, I paid for that ticket. I'm gonna sneak over here.
Exactly. Yeah. I want to give at least $400 out of movies for this deal. I'll just stay here all day and watch 3 movies.
No, that's gone.
Because at the AMC you could do that in Burbank because it was a big horseshoe, so you could stay in there all day and just like sneak into every single theater.
Nobody knew.
And they spaced them out. Nobody cared. Well, nobody cared. Even if they knew, they're just like, yeah, we don't make any money off the ticket anyway, so what do we care? Go buy more popcorn and soda and you'll be fine. And that's what they want. If you had popcorn and soda, but you're fine. You paid $30 to be here. Have fun. You can watch whatever you want. But yeah, I think I saw 3 movies in one day. Oh god, that was tough though. That was kind of rough though. I was just like, ooh, I don't know if I could ever do that again because it was just like you felt it towards the end of the day. You're just like, ooh, this was a mistake. I can't do this anymore. I think it was.
I did that, but I would pay for the ticket because they were like $3 a ticket when I was in Mississippi. Remember I told you
I went and saw.
I was going back and forth between The Departed and Rocky Balboa.
Right, yeah.
Just back and forth because I had fucking nothing to do down in Mississippi. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll go see these 2 movies over and over and over.
Yeah. And do they start to become one movie? Rocky Balboa is fighting Jack Nicholson.
No, but they're kind of tied together in my mind because I saw them like 10 times
yeah.
in the theater. Like I saw them so much.
Ray-
I went every day that week.
Ray Winstone is training Mason the Line Dixon. And
Mason the Line Dixon.
And for some reason, Rocky Balboa is working in an IRA bar, getting China circuitry to China, buying microprocessors.
And Ray Winstone goes,
microprocessor.
Listen, Rocky, I'm the guy who tells you who you can hit and who you can't hit. That guy ain't exactly someone you can hit. He's not someone you can't hit. Or other way around, but yeah, it's just there's nothing else to do. The theater used to be a fun experience. I did have fun yesterday, and we're going again next week, next Saturday, to see Renfield. You're going to see that, right?
I'll definitely go see Renfield. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That looks fun. Like I'll go see that one. But I still need to see
that movie on the 21st.
I still need to see Dungeons and Dragons. I want to see John Wick 4, but it's just like I can't do it. I just feel no
Scream 6 or whatever.
Yes, I don't care. I still haven't seen Scream 5. I'll see that. I can watch it on Paramount Plus. It's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
So I don't know. I
saw the Scream 3 in the theater.
I saw all the Screams in the theater.
The worst Scream movie I saw in the theater.
Scream 3?
Scream 3.
Scream 3 is probably the worst, yeah.
Yeah, that definitely the worst.
I saw Scream 1 when I think in the re-release when it came out, because they re-released it in Christmas time, I think. Because I missed it when it came out in August, and we went and saw it in the Christmas re-release. And then saw Scream 2, saw Scream 3, saw Scream 4, and then that was it. I haven't, because there was fucking 15 years in between each one after that.
Yeah.
So
I have to. They do a cool thing at Harkins here in Phoenix where they play every Tuesday for $5. You can go see a classic throwback movie.
Right.
They do it at 7 p.m. And it's like, I used to go all the time. I saw Memento. I saw just a ton of movies that way.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So this Tuesday, they're doing Eternal Sunshine. I'm like, I did see that in the theater twice when it first came out. So I don't need to see that again, but I'd love to go back and watch it again there. But in 3 weeks, they're doing 2001.
Yeah.
And I saw that in the theater when we were in LA. But I'm like, I tell my wife about it, and she's like, "What? What movie?" And I'm like,
"She ain't gonna sit
the one
through that.
tattooed on my wrist here.
She is not gonna sit through that movie.
You can't not see this. This is 2001. I've told you 2001 times. And then they're doing a ton of movies. Like every Tuesday they do it, and seen some great movies in there. $5, fucking great.
Can't beat that.
Back when I was single, used to go all the time.
Oh yeah, now I'm single. I don't go to movies at all now. So either way, it doesn't matter.
No,
I just want me to shut it. Leave me alone.
Yeah, the outside world gets involved.
I don't like.
I do want to say, because this is our last show before this date comes up on my calendar, is April 11th, 1974, Adam's birthday.
Oh,
happy birthday, Adam.
Is it April? Oh, it's April 7th.
Dead fuck.
Dead.
He would be
You're trying to give me
49 this year.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't do the math till right now.
Wow.
Crazy you say that. Yeah, because he's a decade older than I was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was older. He was way older, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Dark City. As you're getting to, it is a cult movie now. It felt like a cult movie when it came out because we watched it and we're like, this is a really good movie, but nobody's going to give a shit about this. You can tell while watching it.
Yeah.
The fact that it was made is kind of impressive.
Yep. They won't do that again. They won't make that wonderful mistake twice.
They did. They did make it exactly twice.
The Crow and Dark
City. Crow.
There you go.
The Crow's in my top 10 or top 15.
Absolutely.
Dark City's like 18, 19, somewhere in there.
I don't
remember the exact actual list, but
Nikki and Stevie React Hot Fuzz. The
first
time they ever watched it. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
I'll say first time I watched Hot Fuzz, didn't care for it that much.
I loved it.
Second time I watched Hot Fuzz, it was my favorite comedy maybe of all time.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because I got over the hump of what's happening now? Why is this happening? And then I was like, oh, I see all the setup. Like I was not on board the first time around. I'll admit it right off the bat.
Right, yeah.
Okay, movie. Second time, I'm like, I get it.
Sometimes it takes 2 times for a movie to get to you, and that's the thing. It's like because you need to give it time. If you didn't get it, maybe you need a minute, and go back to it. But just you need to give a movie at least two chances.
And that's what I'm realizing when we did the M Night last week on this show. Is I hated Signs and I hated The Village. Watched it again. And I'm like, terrible. Those are fine. I liked them just fine. I didn't love them. I gave them both 6s after, but I'm like, those are actually good movies.
Yeah, they're not 4s.
And when you get older, you get a little more lenient and less pessimistic. And I'm like, I was more patient, and I liked them. But Dark City, I fucking love right off the bat. I'm so glad you picked this movie because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's a movie I used to watch like every year or so, maybe less.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time now. It's been probably 5-6 years at this point. So that's why I'm like, I need to rewatch it before we start because I kind of forgot some of the ending.
Well,
I forgot about the Matrix fight where he shows the water thing and it blows up. I'm like, what is that, kerosene?
He throws him in the big well, the big water tower. And then the soundtrack is amazing too, though. This is one of those. Again, The Crow had a great soundtrack. Dark City has a great soundtrack. You never hear the music in the movie, but it's you hear the orchestration, the composed music, which is still pretty good too. Because that's what I like about the soundtrack. It has the film music and the pop music. Yeah. So they took like a couple like rock and roll, but more indie rock, more industrial rock kind of songs, and they work for the film, especially the tone of the movie, what it is.
Yeah,
but, the soundtrack's really good. I have the soundtrack. I've always liked it
for Dark City.
And I'm sure now for Dark City,
really,
it's a good soundtrack
because this is like one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. The Crow.
Yeah, The Crow's a better soundtrack, but yeah.
But that's more forefront of it's about music. It's about a musician who dies, and it makes more sense.
Right. Yeah. Well, Dark City, you have 2 covers by Anita Kingsley, who sings for Jennifer Connelly, and she does Sway, and she does another one. She does like old 40s, songs or whatever.
Her Sway version is really good, though.
I like Sway's very good. This version's a very good version.
Sway one
it's on the soundtrack.
Out. Yeah,
Sway is good.
Really?
Yeah, Sway is a good song on the soundtrack. The other one is fine, but I don't listen to it as much. Like that's always the track I kind of skip over because after that track you get into the score, and the score by I think Trevor Rabin is the guy that did the score. It's really good. It's very well done. It's and it's been used in it's trailer music. It's always in
Trevor Jones
now. You'll hear it. Trevor Jones, right? Trevor Jones did the music, and like I remember, as time goes on, you remember trailers, and the X-Men trailer when it came out in 2000 had the Dark City music in it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Dark City! And I was like, oh shit, it's Dark City. They're trying to rip off, they're trying to set that up. But yeah, it's a great soundtrack. Definitely worth getting. I turned Matt onto that soundtrack too. He loves it. I brought it one day and I had listened. He goes, oh, it's a great soundtrack, man. And because he only likes like three CDs that he plays on repeat anytime he has a party. It was Sublime, the DJ 5000, whatever that one was, and then the I think Primus every time. Just those 3 albums. That's all he would play. I'm just like, and everybody. I remember everybody. Anytime we had dinner, everybody would be like this.
Driver.
Everybody was like, okay, we've heard this album like 75 times.
You know why he's into the Primus CD? It's because they sang the South Park intro.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And that's.
But this is, years of
I do want to say,
songs.
This is Adam's copy of Dark City. I used to have this, but then I got rid of all my Blu-rays, and I was so glad.
Right, yeah.
Out of my top 100, like I literally have a top 100 list, and
Right.
I got all those movies from Adam, and I got like 3 in my top 100. This
Wow.
is one of them. It was this and like Jackie Brown
Wow. Wow.
and Reservoir Dogs that I got from Adam.
Mm.
And I'm exaggerating. It's probably like 6th out of my top 100, but I'm like, Adam and I had very similar tastes, but also very, very different tastes.
Oh, yes.
But I also have Female Vampire, the lesbian vampire soft erotica movie.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, he had a very different taste, and it was nice to get Dark City because I'm like, it's one of my favorite movies.
He liked schlocky action movies with
and
like
I
girls
always
with big
say,
titties.
I always say, like during our show reviews, where I'm like, this one hit me in my B movie feels. Like,
yes,
I loved it for the fact that I love schlock.
Right.
No, but this movie is just, I think it's vastly underrated.
Yes.
But also, it's clearly not going to be meant for the mainstream. Just the way it's designed, front to back.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
What average audience member is going to sit through this movie and
this is stupid. This doesn't make any sense.
I don't get it. Who are these pale guys? You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. So
yeah,
I can't believe this was made by a studio. And I'm so glad they did it though, because they've made their money back, years later, but I'm glad they got, because otherwise they wouldn't have given Alex Proyas the chance to do the director's cut, which is barely different, honestly. Let's be honest.
I think the only thing is really the difference is the beginning and opening. He doesn't have the voiceover. That's really the only big difference.
They do a grayer scale throughout the movie, barely. You'll notice in a couple scenes. And he does a little more of the visual when he tunes.
Right, yeah.
Like it's a little more obvious that he's doing something, but no different. But when they cut the opening narration out, I was like, yes, on board.
Yeah.
Because it is unnecessary.
No, it is. It doesn't work. But again, studio interference, they'll wreck everything.
I'm looking at my top 100 and see this lies. Number 27.
That's not bad. It's a pretty good rate. Yeah, it's pretty good.
But The Crow is 12.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Fucking love The Crow.
Crow is good.
You know who hates The Crow? Jansen.
Oh, I can't. You can't even look at that guy. Can't even look at him.
So upsetting.
He won't even go to a baby shower.
You know what's also on my top 100 that you said you recently watched? Shutter Island.
Yeah.
One after.
I would put that in my top.
Dark City.
I put that. I would put that probably 120. I don't know. Shutter Island's fine.
It's my number 28.
Wow, 28. Jesus Christ.
I fucking love Shutter Island. You know that.
I like it. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's one of those movies. I have a ton of those movies where I'm like, I overrate this, but it's for fucking me. I don't care about your list.
No, that's fine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fine. Well, did you see
how much would you hate someone if they went, here's my top 250 and it's literally just
IMDb. Yeah.
You're like,
stupid.
Fuck you. You got no personality. Like,
no,
I love 30 Days a Night. It's in my top 50, I'd say.
Yeah.
You.
That's good. Well, it should be like that, yeah.
Where is 30 Days a Night is like 75-ish.
Oh wow, okay. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 71.
Where'd you put where's Near Dark on your list?
Not on the list yet. I just watched that. Keep in mind.
So you're gonna figure out where to go.
So this is my list from 2021. So
okay.
About every 2 years I go through and remake my list, and I will definitely do
that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I forget what movies I saw in a year. They all kind of run together after a while. I know I saw a lot.
Got my list of movies I've seen as well.
Yeah.
While we were doing the show earlier, I just bought The Prestige on 4K because I keep wanting to pull the trigger and I never do. Nice. I'm like, fucking doing it.
Very good. Very good.
That's why we're talking about it. Beyond belief.
Are you looking closely? Are you watching closely?
You never really. How often do you look at a man's shoes? This reminds me. No, I know. Clearly, but it reminds me of. Are you looking closely? How often do you really look at a man's shoes?
No, I'm the one. I'm the Prestige. I'm
sorry, Mr. Wayne.
Mr. Wayne.
Oh well, I think we should call it a night now on Dark City.
Yes.
I think one of my favorite movies of all time. Love Alex
9.
Proyas. Love him. 9, yeah, all the way 9. 9's galore on that one. Love it.
Actually, I have it as a 10 on IMDb, so I'll give it a 10.
Yeah, it's a 10. Yeah, I'd agree. 9, 10. They kind of go interchangeable. 9, 10. It's like that's pretty much the best of the best. So they're kind of interchangeable. So
It's
yeah,
my
definitely
number
9, 10.
27. So yeah, I give it a 10.
Absolutely.
Love
Love
the
that
movie.
movie.
Fucking
Love it.
fantastic. I'm so glad you picked it. Next week we are doing. I don't have it with me, but Once Upon a Time in the West.
Okay.
Another movie, and that movie is my number 4. That's my number 4.
That it might be my number 1, but I don't know. It goes back and forth.
So I got
I know,
Shawshank,
yeah, that's the thing.
Memento, Seconds, and then
Shawshank,
Once Upon a
yeah.
West.
Yeah, I would agree. I always kind of like to think they have a top 10 number 1 movies because I can't pick one or the over.
You have a
another,
much harder
'cause they're
time
all.
making lists than I do.
Yeah, I look at it like they're all equally good. So it's like I can't say, oh, one's better than the other when they're all the same. It's like a 10 is a 10. It's like you can't. That's it. You know, they don't make that many of them. So it's like if it's a good movie, it's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. So why can't you just have a list of like your top 100 number 1 movies? Honestly,
Well, after my top 100, I go top 250, and I have a list on the side. And
Right,
they're not
yeah.
in order. It's just
Yeah.
alphabetized. And I'm like,
right,
any of those movies can be in the top 100 and or not, and here they are. Like
right.
they're not. This list isn't for anyone but me, and it's just like I like to keep a list of it because I always have.
Right.
Because when you're a lonely child, you make lists of things because there's nothing. else to do.
I was a lonely black child.
No, it's just and I like to have my top 100 movies up here on top here. You can. They were
Sure,
here,
yeah.
but I removed them. I'm gonna have them sorted by director now because we're starting to talk about directors.
Yep. Your room is a constant work in progress.
It is.
Much like my room.
Ebbs and
I always
flows.
do something.
Yeah.
And I got to move everything because I put
And-
new.
Sorry, what's
windows
that
in
poster right over your
collector room.
right shoulder?
Oh, Once Upon a Time in the West.
Yeah, we're talking about that next week.
That one.
That
That's
will
the
be
movie next week. That goddamn right.
414. Our first time doing Twilight Zone in a long time.
Yeah. All right. Inside the jackets. Inside the dusters with 3 men. Inside the 3 men with 3 bullets.
We
That
do
Captain
have.
Shine men don't get killed.
Let's get out of here because we have a real quick episode to do here.
Oh God, do we?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's just do it. It'll be 5 minutes.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Dark City.
So long, citizens. Bye-bye. All right, stay in the studio. So we have our welcome to LIW Improv Theater, an episode we forgot to do last week.
Yes.
We forgot to do this episode last week, Dick. It's Explain Song Lyrics 14. Google translates Pink Floyd's Time. I don't know why we're doing this.
Okay.
We can skip through it. It's not going to be fun. I had an idea.
This ain't like a rap song.
Pink Floyd?
Yeah, this isn't a rap song. This isn't as funny as a rap song.
Yeah. I thought it would be cool to put it through a bunch of back and forth between languages thing. So I'll share here the lyrics, if you will.
Yes.
And I put it through. Sorry, let me find the window. Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I got that.
I put it from English to Portuguese, back to English,
Jesus.
to Scottish Gaelic, back to English, to French, to English, to Romanian, and then back to English.
It's a lot. How long is this song?
Not very long.
Yeah, well, how many?
It's literally
Like
this
every
long.
other line is a different language. Yeah,
No,
I
no.
know.
The whole, I
But
put
you
all of
literally
it
said
through
20.
back and forth.
Oh, okay. Count the moments that make. Oh, count meaning count.
So
the
if
moments.
I could, I'll. Do you want to read these? And I'll read off the original lyrics. I guess.
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
do it.
that sounds good. Yes.
Pink Floyd Time lyrics. So I'll read off the original lyrics. You read off how this translates,
All right.
and I'll sing it. You can kind of get the rhythm. Where's the? There it is. All right, it's a short song. I just want to see it. This is gonna be stupid. It's not gonna work. Just calling it right now. Should we go to improv theater here? There we go. It never changed. There it is. All right. So, ticking away the moments that make up a dull day, fritter and waste the hours in an offhand way.
Count the moments that make up a boring day, roast and spend hours improvising.
Kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown, waiting for someone or something to show you the way.
Kick a field in your town. I hope someone or something will show you the way.
Okay. I haven't read these, by the way. This is my favorite song of all time. Tired of lying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain. You are young and life is long, and there is time to kill today.
Tired of sitting in the sun, sitting at home watching the rain. You are young and your life is long, and today you have time to kill.
It gets very literal at some point, doesn't it?
It's pretty good.
Today you will murder the time.
Time will come again.
And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun.
And then one day you find that 10 years have passed. No one told you when to run. You missed the kickoff.
What?
You missed the kickoff.
Indeed. Where the hell are we? Okay. And you run to catch up with the sun, but it's sinking, racing around to come up behind you again.
Is that it? Run. Okay.
Yeah.
And run to catch the sun, but it's setting. He runs to chase you again.
It's getting ominous. All right. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older, shorter of breath, and one day closer to death.
The sun is also relatively good, but you are older with less breathing and one day closer to death. There you go.
This is creepy. Every year is getting shorter, never seem to find the time. Plans that either come to naught or a half a page of scribbled lines.
Every year gets shorter. I never seem to find the time. Plans that go to zero or half a page of scribbled lines.
Okay. All right. Hanging on in quiet desperation is the English way. The time is gone. The song is over. Thought I had something more to say. Right at the top.
To wait in silent despair is the English way. Time passed. The music ended. I thought of something else to say.
Okay. And you run, let's see, home again. I like to be here when I can. And when I come home cold and tired, it's good to warm my bones beside the fire.
Home and home, I like to be here when I can. And when I come home cold and tired, it's good to warm my bones by the fire.
Sounds like it's going to be the same. Far away across the field, the tolling of the iron bell calls the faithful to their knees to hear the softly spoken magic spells.
Pretty much the same thing. Far across the field, the iron bell rings, calling the faithful to kneel to hear magical spells spoken in a low voice. That sounds very Asian. Spoken in low voice.
Yeah. All right, that was just for me, I guess.
That's funny. Well, I wanted it to be a little bit more. I mean, I guess it's maybe less filtering, or maybe just do Asian filtering.
I don't know.
Asian translations are always way more wackier.
No, I kind of like skimmed through them after each one, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And eventually, I'm like, fuck it, I'm done.
Right.
But all right, that was a never doing that again. They can't all be winners, can they?
They can't all be rapidy rap videos talking about busting a cap and drinking expensive whiskey.
We need to stick with those from now on because this was not fun.
This was just interesting.
This one's literally tattooed on my wrist here, the Pink Floyd. And it wasn't.
Oh, very good.
It's also right here.
You have to get rid of that tattoo now. Just erase it. Get a Brillo pad and start erasing it from your skin.
I love that when Pink Floyd just came out with their like anniversary photos for that album, and people are like, "They gone woke." Oh, they're fucking rainbow flags, and it's like that. Oh, okay. How do you argue with someone that dumb?
Aren't they rainbow? They had rainbow flags at the beginning, or
that's the original album from '73. Like that's the
right?
cover.
Yeah, it's the prism. The prism.
Prism.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with gay rights or anything.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's the original album cover.
People are dumb.
All that you love and all that touch. All you see.
All that shit.
And
Yeah, it's
Naomi Watts' dad laughing on that track. It's Naomi Watts' dad. And he's dead.
Really?
He died like 5 years after this song came out, I think, something like that. He died when she was like very young as a kid or something like that.
No, did not know that.
No. Yeah, Naomi Watts.
Fun. Thank you. I
She
appreciate
was
that.
she's always rich and famous, so fuck her.
I will.
I will.
I very much will.
Oh, I saw on Instagram Justin Long married Kate Bosworth. I didn't even know they were a couple.
That is one, like two of them together weigh less than me.
Exactly.
That is one underweight couple who can't go on like a carnival ride together.
Eat a cheeseburger!
Wow.
Eat something!
That barbarian.
Barbarian. Oh, well, I thought I lost you there for a minute.
Ah!
Get away
Get out
from
of
me.
here.
All right,
Our next
good night,
time we do
everybody.
this is end of the next month, so end of April.
Well, we got to do the movie trivia game eventually. I thought that was going to be coming up soon.
That's coming up on Hollywood is Dead.
Okay, good. We'll be doing that
The
soon. That'll be
week
fun.
after we do Once Upon a Time in the West.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Until next time, let me know. We're done.
You're a fool. I love you. Do the joyride.
I
Should
gotta
do an
pee so
80s